dignitaries, resource person, senior faculty members from various universities and BHU also. It is a privilege to be a part of this 2 days seminar, and I have been allotted a topic of uniform evaluation pattern and how it can be worked out for future reference to attain the sustainability. Now already all the resource persons have discussed a lot. I will try to summarize today's discussion by giving a brief note on how to work out on evaluation pattern. Basically, evaluation is a measuring of performance. Like when you might be aware of intelligence questionnaire, which we have learned in psychology, IQ, level test which is done mental age, chronological age, divided and multiplied by 100. So similarly, as a teacher, we are evaluating the performance of the students. Now, that performance is done in two phases. First is admission, during admission, and second is during examination. Now, the purpose of evaluation can be worked out under 5 phases. First is relevance. Now, relevancy, when we are talking about that, relevancy must reflect the targeted group. For example, if we are conducting a test for medical examination, so that pattern of examination must reflect the level of judging the domain knowledge with regard to the interest of the student, that how it can be utilized and how their services can be worked out for future reference in medical field. In case of legal education, generally when we are working about the relevancy, we must look into the targeted group. Like for examining the question paper, question framing, or checking the question paper, re-evaluation. These are the process which is the agenda of academic activity, and that can be worked out very from the base level itself. For example, if you are setting a question paper for first year student, maybe the subject is law of tort, and you are asking him from the other area of domain knowledge which can be related to CPC or any other domain knowledge, then it will be not up to the mark and a student performance may be affected. With regard to the same, as one of the resource person pointed out, that the question paper need to be moderated at first level in order to overcome with the problems related to the students that need to be worked out. Second is effectiveness. When we are talking about measuring the performance of evaluation, the objective for which the course curriculum has been worked out. We worked a lot on framing our course curriculum. The objective is for which purpose we are framing our course curriculum. That may be with keeping in mind the targeted objective what we want to give to best to our students. So, and it must relate to the performance aspect also. So once you are framing the course curriculum followed by the objective which you want to attain, which you want to develop in your students, that must be reflected in your curriculum also. Like we are by putting case law analysis, by putting presentation, by putting field study, and it must reflect some interdisciplinary domain of knowledge testing also, so that the internal assessment can be worked out. Next is efficiency. Now, once we are working on relevancy, effectiveness followed by the objectivity of particular domain knowledge, then automatically the efficiency can be tested through qualitative and quantitative. Both analysis can be worked out by testing the domain knowledge. Next is the attainment of the goal by which we are gaining the information through technology also. Like when we are giving the research paper to the students, the use of technology, to what extent they are using the technology and how much best way effectively we are looking into it. For example, while checking the research paper, generally we have the parameter that as per UGC 10% or 15%, we are giving till 15% relaxation, and sometimes we are exceeding the limit to 20%. But ultimately, we will find that somewhere or the other, the root cause of the problem is to check or evaluate the efficiency part on the part of teacher itself. It need to be relooked. The last is the sustainability. All of us know that when we are planning to attain the sustainability, and as a teacher, our goal is to develop the best level of understanding which will be helpful for our student, not only for gaining the present insight from that particular subject matter, but it should have a future reference also. So that sustainability can only be attained only when we have our targeted objective that can be reflected in our course curriculum, followed by evaluation pattern, and the third one, to check the efficiency of the student qualitatively and quantitatively. Then, and when we combine all these three, then automatically the sustainability will be attained. Now, about this evaluation, what we need to work out as a teacher, in a very short span of my teaching experience, what I found that teaching method which we are adopting. For example, if you are teaching any clinical paper, that must give a practical exposure to the student so that he can work out. For example, in case of CPC, CRPC, not traditional knowledge will work, but at followed, the practical knowledge need to be reflected. And at the same point of time, when we are working on evaluation pattern, it must be reflected in the curriculum or evaluation pattern that it is measured through qualitatively and quantitatively method. The next which we are measuring, that is feedback. Now, if in general you will ask somewhere the feedback, preferably in NLU, I can say that sometimes feedback is taken in a very negative way. And feedback from the student is utilized in a different form. But it should not be. At the same point of time, that feedback of students need to be evaluated by the sovereignty of that subject expert, means the teacher who is teaching. Like in the inaugural session pointed out one of our speaker, that if the teacher will be given the authority to check the knowledge, domain knowledge confirmation that the student is competent, followed by verification at any stage, that means the reliability or validity can be checked at any stage, then only it will be fruitful. So feedback, I would like to add with a positive note that it must be for the purpose of attaining the removal of difficulties on the part of the students, and at the same point of time from faculty end also it need to be worked out for positive discussion, and at the same point of time improvement need to be done. So by this I will conclude that in case of attaining uniform evaluation, we need to join hand with regard to maintaining the objective of particular subject curriculum, followed by attaining the development of domain knowledge, and it must not be abridging the interest or defeating the interest of the student, and at the same time faculty members also. Thank you very much.